at Two Guys Garage. Now this is the battle of the Chargers, 2007 versus Willie's 1970.
Yeah, man, it's Charger Mania. We'll sell you the whole car, but you only need the driver's seat.
Yeah, we got some maintenance on this one, but we got some high tension tuning going on in the 70s.
Man. Stick around, you're gonna love this one. Charger Mania on Two Guys Garage. All right, so so he thinks that he's gonna dial this 2007 up to run with my 70 that's in the back. We'll show you in a second, man. This thing's gonna take off like a herd of turtles beside my car, man.
I know that, and they know that. He doesn't realize that I know that.
Right. Here's how you can benefit. Get this thing where to turn, man. I'm on torsion bars, old school setup. Doesn't turn very well, man. There's you a chance.
That's my only chance. So we're gonna go left, right, left, right, left. We're gonna go like this.
Look, man, you get this thing working, turning. I'm gonna go back and dial mine in. I'll see you in a minute, son.
All right, I'll be on it.
Really?
Man, if I even have a shot, just staying in the same county with Willie once he gets rolling, I've got to dial this thing up. So we're putting on the shocks and struts on all four corners. Now you typically want to do at least in pairs. I'm going all the way. Now we're starting with precision German engineered, shocks and struts from Sachs. Now these are OE quality pieces, but what we're doing here while we're working is opening up this giant philosophical question. Is this a shock, a strut, or a coilover? Now let me explain. If we go back to shocks, a real simple device. It just controls velocity or damping, right? It's two forces this way. Now when you get to a strut, it's actually incorporating part of the suspension. So in the, say, older days of struts, you got a lower control arm, but you've got your upper knuckle here and hub actually bolting to it. So your ball joint now becomes part of this thing. So it's taking different loads, and you don't have an upper control arm on the top. This actually mounts, up to your fender area and is taking all the loads that the upper does. Now it's nice for the OEs because they could save a lot of components, and it works pretty darn good. But if we notice here, this strut now has an upper control arm, ball joint, a full separated knuckle, and a control arm down here. This is just really a shock, but now it has a spring on it. So it looks a little more like a coilover. The only thing it doesn't have is adjustability for ride height, but everything else, I don't know. Now, for all you guys at home, make sure you get a good quality brand. And Sachs has pretty much 95% vehicle coverage up through model year 2012 with all kinds of the parts and pieces and kits and boots. So let me get rolling. In the meantime,
a well-maintained vehicle is a stiction-free vehicle. The fuel inside your diesel engine is under consistent high heat and breaks down, leaving a sticky residue we call stiction. Diesel fuel systems also suffer from internal diesel injector deposits, as well as moisture buildup. A twice-per-year treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will remove stiction, IDIDs, and moisture. Diesel Extreme will also protect with a rust inhibitor and apply a potent cetane boost. Diesel Extreme's clean first then boost strategy is effective for immediate and long-term results that'll restore your original performance power. This tip is brought to you by Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
hey, welcome back. Now, while Willie's getting this 70, Charger all juiced up, ready to just smoke me, at least when we get somewhere, and I've been seeing taillights the whole time, I can show up and look cool. Now, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do that. Now, I'm gonna take the old bulbs out of this baby right here, and I'm gonna replace them with Sylvania Zeebo. Now, what that is, it's their brightest, whitest halogen, but it's been modified to make it extra cool. Now, check this out. On the back side here, you have a light pipe. So that's basically like kind of, I think, fiber optics, where I can shine right through this with another light, which happens to be right here. So this is an array of LEDs sitting right in here. Now, if I connect it to the back side of this, like this, right? Now all of a sudden, when I put it in my headlight assembly like so, I can project whatever I want through there and a whole color pattern of LEDs. I can make them flash, I can do all sorts of things. Let me set it in here and I'll show you. Now, bang, I can crank this thing up a little bit and I can go through all sorts of different colors, brightnesses. Now, if I go into audio mode, that's even cooler, right? So I can put it on microphone, which is super simple. So for my phone, I'm gonna Bluetooth right to this simple controller. So everything that I'm either saying, if I'm yelling out at the crowd, or I got my music playing from the speakers, it's gonna pick it up and it's gonna match the beat. Or if I wanna go into my playlist and play a song right out of my phone, this thing will read it and jam right with it. Now let's say you don't have one of their many, most popular sizes, you can use their Pulse system. Now the Pulse is the exact same thing, it's a little LED engine. You just gotta find a little spot on the front of your headlight. You can put these on fog lights, maybe under your motorcycle tanks so you get a little flashing going on your engine. Pretty cool stuff, man. And it's so easy to put in. 2 little connectors here to your battery, tuck that away, and you're all set. So I'm gonna get this installed because even though I won't be the fastest guy out there, I'll definitely be the coolest.
All right, I gotta show you something cool. We have some AC Delco professional coil unplugged boots here I'm gonna get to, but wait till you see when I get this coil out, I'm gonna show you something pretty cool. Now what you're looking for on any of these is a real snug, tight fit. That way it's gonna keep contaminants, moisture, and so forth out away from the plug. That's gonna promote a long plug life. You're looking at, something like this high thermal temperature silicone, all right? That's gonna protect against thermal overloading, which you already see on this old plug boot. Get to that in just a second. And check this out. Stainless steel wiring, that's gonna ensure carries all those volts down to the plug where you want that big charge. Now, this is pretty interesting on this Hemi. Bet you didn't know this. So this guy, I'll show you with a pen, believe it or not, has 2 plugs per cylinder, right? Did you know that they're firing like this at the same time? So what happens, all right, you got this U-shaped rod in here and it's wrapped up with a bunch of wire in this coil. So a spark travels down this guy, lights off from that electrode to the ground strap. Then it grounds in the head, travels around, and comes back up through the ground strap to the electrode and back up this guy. So it's firing this way at the same time, like
Forwards
instantaneously.
and backwards, forwards and backwards.
Wrap your
all
lid
the same time.
around that, dude. It's like, what? Pretty cool.
Well, we're gonna get specific with these plugs for this car, right? You want the right plug for your application. We're doing the AC Delco Double Platinum. Now that's gonna have platinum on 2 spots, the ground electrode and up underneath that strap. And what that's gonna do is give you that 100,000 mile plus kind of wear,
man.
and these are gonna give you a 100,000 mile warranty.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, if we're gonna wick this thing up in the future, get real performance and dose a lot of heat at it, we can go to their Rapid Fire brand. I'll explain a little bit of that over here.
Yeah, man. Get over to the board. I'm finishing
All right.
this.
Now, spark plugs seem like crazy simple, but there's actually a lot going on in there, and of course they get confusing with all these different fine wires and platinums and whatnots, and so I thought I'd give you a little bit of background here. So we know we're going up through our center electrode and we're firing off to our ground strap and grounding out to the engine, right? And so you're firing typically off an edge there, so I might get a little fire off a sharp edge. Well, that's great, except on a cold start, right? That's actually a cold piece of metal, it's a mass. And so I get a little spark and I start to get a little bit of flame current here, and there's enough huffing and puffing going on, I can blow that out. So what companies are doing over time is we've got these little fine points, a little fine wire, right? So you see a little tip on there, and what that does is it keeps a sharp edge, which is great, but now they have to coat it with something because it's so small, it'll erode away faster than this big guy, so then you start hearing things like platinum. So platinum lasts a lot longer than typical materials for the core, so there you go, it lasts for 100,000 miles plus. Now you remember, we talked about those plugs are firing in both directions. So you notice a lot of these plugs are starting to have a little tip up there, so you can fire either way between there. You're super happy on cold starts, but you're managing the heat for all your, performance driving.
Ooh, you are a master of the marker, my man.
I did a lot of coloring as a kid.
Yeah. And one thing you'll notice for the race car applications and the race guys out there is they don't have this little, this little piece of metal hanging out there because it just gets too hot. And you can see on the rapid fire plugs, you'll actually see what a big hunk of metal is sitting down there and that big thick ground strap, not this little guy you have here for our performance-based applications.
Now, speaking of plugs, did you finish over there or I gotta go help you out?
No, I don't need to change plugs in my car to whoop that.
All right, so apparently I'm gonna go finish it up.
Guys, you know it's not a complete brake job without doing your brake hardware. You don't invest time and money in putting new pads and shoes on your car without replacing the hardware too. Now, when you're replacing brake hardware, you want to make sure to use the parts made with the highest quality materials possible. Otherwise, you can see early corrosion, extra wear on your pads and rotors. Carlson Quality Brake Products recently introduced these Quiet Glide brake pad abutment clips. Now, these are the first aftermarket brake clips of their kind. They're made from a combination of stainless steel construction, PTFE coating, and vulcanized rubber. The stainless steel gives you a better durability and resistance to say things like corrosion. Carlson uses superior quality stainless steel to ensure a long life for their brake hardware. They put these clips to a salt and spray test, and even after 230 hours, the clips didn't show any sign of corrosion. Now that's compared to inferior stainless steel materials where they started rusting 20 hours after that spray and salt test. The vulcanized rubber coating of these clips helps to drastically reduce brake noise. In fact, when you put new brake pads and replace the brake hardware with one of these kits, you can reduce your brake noise up to 70 decibels. That's about as loud as a vacuum cleaner. The brake contact side of the clip is also coated with PTFE coating, which is extremely low friction coating that actually self-lubricates. So pretty much nothing sticks to it. This coating reduces drag on your brake components and reduces the wear on your pads and rotors. It also makes for a better pedal feel. Because your braking system is producing less friction, this also is going to reduce heat and you can even improve your fuel efficiency. PTFE also helps repel water, which protects clips against corrosion. Each brake hardware kit package includes an IBI certified seal to ensure the highest quality products for fit and performance time after time. Pick them up at Federated Auto Parts.
Dude, this thing is so cool, man.
Yeah, this is the Titan, man. Now, believe it or not, I paid $300 for this car. It was in the field, it hadn't ran in a decade and a half, and it looked nothing like it does right now.
It does not look like a $300 car.
Yeah, man, so it's a 500 cubic inch big block. Right now, it's in street form. When I go to the track, typically I change out the carb, add a little time, and so forth, but we're gonna get to that in a second.
Then you got this going on, man. Tell me about the fog.
Yeah, man, I'm a big nitrous guy, so I'll tell you what, man, this car eats, lives, and breathes nitrous. It loves it. I've thrown as much as 500 to it. It runs mid to low nines at about 152.
Cool. Well, he's got it in street form. He got some timing backed out of it. He runs a lot of pump gas so we can go cruise around, but we're going to the drag strip, so we got to get some octane back in the tank so we can dial this thing back in and go racing. So come play with us on our dyno.
Here we go, pouring in the race gas, race fuel concentrate. Woo-hoo. That's what I'm talking about, man. Now I'm ready to go racing. Believe it or not, that makes my fuel 107 octane. I basically made race fuel out of some premium unleaded. I don't have to worry about traveling all over the place, finding a place to carry race fuel, how am I transporting the stuff, where am I putting it, paying, I don't know, $100 for 5 gallons.
Yeah, and what I like about it, it's a direct replacement for standard distilled racing fuels, right? Because this isn't your sort of octane booster.
Yeah.
It's distilled racing fuel that brings the octane, but it also brings the BTU or the energy content for the volume that you're going to put in your engine.
It's a completely unique and different chemistry.
Yeah, it doesn't change your air-fuel ratio, and you know, you can have a couple cans in the trunk. Now, you ready to cap that thing off so we can do a couple of pulls? Well, we're going to get on this dyno and start doing some runs, put in some spark. We're going to see you in a minute because we're going to take a break.
Classic Instruments has a complete customizable dash bezel package for your 1967 to 72 Chevy truck. This is their Autocross Instrument Series, which is a great option if you want a modern sports style. I love the look of these modern instrument faces with that high performance feel. But you can work with the custom team at Classic Instruments to design your own one-off set with your choice of pointer style, color, and gauge face. These kits come completely assembled and ready to install, including the pre-wired electrical connections, wiring harness, and mounting hardware. It's even got the red shift indicator light pre-installed in the tachometer. You can also choose between multiple sending units to make these packages work with any drivetrain and fuel setup. This is the Max Power Tri-Flow radiator from Eastwood. The Tri-Flow design has internal flow divider plates that pass coolant through the radiator core 3 times, reducing water temperatures up to 24 degrees Fahrenheit. Because the coolant is flowing through the radiator 2 more times than a traditional radiator, it offers more efficient cooling. These radiators are made with full TIG welded construction, and they have 2 welded bunks, which can be used for steam ports for your LS engine applications. When you get your aluminum radiator from Eastwood, you'll find all the other parts you need to go with it. They carry aluminum shrouds, fan controllers, transmission coolers, and derailleur electric fans. From Gojo Industries, these are the Gojo scrubbing towels. They're perfect for quick and convenient cleanup for dirty hands and surfaces in the shop, or just about anywhere. They don't need any water, so you can put some in your toolbox to use around the garage and keep some in your car, your truck, or trailer. Whenever you're out on the road, they're ready to go. These wipes are dual texture, so they have a scrubbing side for removing grease, tar, and paint, and then a smooth side for quickly absorbing dirt. The container has what is called a simple nozzle technology and is pre-threaded, which makes it easy just to grab one towel and get back to work. Plus, the nozzle actually helps keep the towels wet, so you don't have to ever worry about them drying out. Gojo, pick them up at Federated Auto Parts.
Man, welcome back to Two Guys Garage, and let's be honest, you can have the coolest, nicest ride in the world, but if it's dirty, filthy, rolling around with brake dust and debris all over it, it's straight busted. That's why we have my man Mike from Auto Geek here. He always gets us caught up with the latest and greatest in keeping your car clean. Mike, how we doing?
Hey, good.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
man.
Hey, I've got some really cool products to show you how to make cleaning your wheels fast and easy.
Okay.
Of course, the big problem is brake dust builds up on the face of the rims every time you hit the brakes, and road grime. But this first product is the Pinnacle Advanced Wheel Cleaner. And what this does is it's going to go in and it's going to find any brake dust, and it has a color changing effect. So it'll start to dissolve those brake particles, and you'll see it because it'll turn red and actually look like the bleeding effect and start to bleed off. And of course, you let that.
So that's showing you that it's doing something, it's working.
Exactly, it's going to go to work for you. Then the next thing is it's safe for all wheels, whether clear-coated, aluminum, billet, polished, whatever it is, chrome, completely safe. Next-
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Look at that. Nice, man. All right, what's the next step from here?
Well, then you want to take the wool wash mitt like this, and this
Okay.
is nice because you slip your hand in there. It won't scratch the finish, but you can see how you can get in there and agitate the sides of the spokes or the face of the spokes.
Well, how do you get down in, because I got tight spokes on mine, so I can't get that little,
Oh, we got a tool
brush
for
again.
that. This is called the Speedmaster Wheel Brush, and this is good for getting into those intricate areas.
Yeah.
And the other cool thing is it's flexible, so you can bend this to custom fit your wheels, and then you can get in behind the spokes like this to get the backside, or leave it straight to get the barrel, to get everything clean on it. The next thing you want to do is, of course, this would be on a car, you'd rinse it off and get everything off there.
now through the magic of television and a little garden hose, bam!
That looks good.
Yeah, man. That thing looks fantastic.
Then, of course, now that the rim's clean, the next thing is address the tire. And for that, this is called a tire swipe, and this is the Pinnacle Black Onyx Tire Dressing. Here's a little technique.
Okay.
Instead of trying to spray it on the tire, take and just
Getting it all over your rim that
all
you
over
just
the place.
cleaned.
Yeah. You just take and bury the nozzle into the foam and inject the foam with it, especially on the edge here. And that way you can get right down next to the rim there, which is kind of the hard part to get to when you're dressing a tire. And what this is going to do is this is going to keep the tire from turning brown, and it's going to give it that deep, dark black look we all love. And of course, it's important to keep a tire dressing on your tire to keep it flexible so it doesn't dry rot and crack, besides making it look good. The important thing is to work it in well, and then if you do have any excess, wipe it off, and it'll keep your tires looking black, just like that.
All right, man. All of this comes in a nice little 2 guys bucket. How awesome is that at autogeek.com? Man, can't thank you. It's up there with other specials that we have in the 2 guys bucket form.
We're gonna make you guys look good.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, man.
No problem.
For more information about anything you've seen in today's show, check out mavtv.com or visit our website at twoguysgarage.com.
If you're noticing rough idle or hesitation, it could be because gum or deposit buildup in your throttle body is blocking the airflow into the engine. The throttle body is easy to clean. Just remove the air intake duct, place a rag under the throttle body to collect runoff, while manually opening and closing the butterfly valve. Spray CRC throttle body and air intake cleaner on the unit with quick bursts. Don't spray continuously. Be sure to clean throttle linkages to get rid of the lubricating residue. Then spray your air intakes to allow the greatest amount of airflow back into the engine. Since you may have to remove the mass airflow sensor to reach the throttle body, this is a good time to clean your MAF sensor too. Improve your overall miles per gallon by repeating the process every 10,000 miles. This tip is brought to you by CRC Industries, makers of Brake Clean, the #1 brake parts cleaner.
All right, we took a great guess at the right jet size for changing altitudes. We're ready to strap this thing down and do our first pull.
First pull, not bad. Needed some timing, obviously. Grabbed the Star Willie boxing wrench, able to put 2 degrees in it. Gave me 42 horsepower from 606, 648. Pretty happy with that. That's what's up. Not bad for a motor run, man.
She's running strong, and I think I lost all my hearing, but I love it. All right, we're out of time, man, but we're going racing.
Yeah.
We'll see you at the track.
Now we get to spray it. See ya.
2 Guys Garage is brought to you in part by Federated Auto Parts. Best parts, best people, best service. Vehicle transportation provided by Pilot Transport, auto hauling specialists. Professional POV cameras provided by Replay. Record, replay.